Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Saturday evening edition of a live session, and where we are going to discuss a very interesting topic about hypothesis t-test. Okay. Yes. So before that, anybody new in the room, just let me know in the chat box. If you're attending the live session first time, just type me in the chat box, and we will all welcome you first. Okay. Anybody in the room who is attending the live session first time? After yellow belt, by the way, don't consider yellow belt wala session, live coaching session. First time, if you are, just type me in the chat box. Okay, Mr. Mahesh is there. Who else? Type me in the chat box, everybody. Okay, everybody just type welcome Mahesh ji in the chat. So we'll welcome Mahesh ji with very warm heart. And wishing him all the very best in his new endeavor in Lean Six Sigma journey. And let this begin. Everybody just type welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'll just share my screen right now. A lot of people are yet to join because Saturday is not everybody's weekly off. So some of them are traveling, still joining in. Okay, very good. Chalo. So let's begin the journey today. Today we are specifically discussing a topic called t-test. Okay, which there is a meaning for that. I'll give you the background about it. I'll give you the history about it, everything. So the topic in discussion for today is hypothesis testing. Okay. Now you can take the notes, you can take the screenshot, whatever is, visible to you. All right. So hypothesis testing, hypothesis meaning it is basically hypothesis is our assumption and testing the assumption with the help of data. Example. Okay. Let's say, how many of you believe that more the experienced people in the team, lesser will be the defect? How many of you believe this? Just give me in the chat box. More the experienced people in the team, less will be the defect. Just type me in the chat box. Everybody. It's a common understanding. More the experience, less will be the defect, rejection percentage, right? Now, this is our hypothesis. Are you understanding this? This is our hypothesis. Okay. Rishabh Pant is a better batsman than KL Rahul. Okay. This is our hypothesis. Unless and until it is tested with the data, it is hypothesis. Hypothesis meaning it is assumption. So hypothesis testing meaning testing our assumption with the help of data. Very simple. Everybody clear with the fundamental understanding of hypothesis? Just give me yes in the chat. And understand this, in our regular problem solving, there are so many opinions we have, which are generalized opinions, and our decision making is based on those opinions or so-called assumptions or so-called hypotheses. We never check that. We generalize a lot of things, right? Like the same thing, like, more the experience, lesser will be the defect. But what statistics says? Statistics says that do not give clinch it to anything without testing it with the data. Because data will give you the fact. All right. If you remember earlier, I used to give that example of Sachin Tendulkar and Virat Kohli comparison. Now, when Sachin Tendulkar used to play one-day cricket, there was a saying in India, very famous saying in India, that whenever Sachin Tendulkar makes century, India loses the game. How many of you have heard this saying before? Just give me yes in the chat box. If you have heard this when he used to play one-day cricket, of course, he's retired now 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago almost. But if you have heard it in your childhood or in your, in your youth, okay, yes, a lot of people have heard about it, correct? Whenever Sachin makes a century, India loses the game. But the matter of the fact is, out of 49 centuries, okay, so ST Sachin Tendulkar, out of 49 centuries, only 12 times Indian cricket team has lost. 12 matches. Okay. And this is Virat Kohli. VK is Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli has recently made a couple of centuries and crossed Sachin's record. This is Virat Kohli's record. There is not much difference. But we never hear that whenever Virat Kohli makes a century, India loses the game. The statistics are not much difference in the statistics. 10 to 12 and centuries are also very close to 50. Understand this? So we form their opinion, and opinions are formed with with some emotions attached and something like that, where the data is not. So data is logical thinking. Okay. So what statistics say? Don't become emotional while taking decision. Check the data. Don't assume anything. Don't give anybody clean sheet. Just collect the data, check the fact and figure, and then you take the decision. And that's what is happening in the hypothesis testing. Okay. So now in the analyze phase, we find out causes and the root causes. Okay. So in Lean Six Sigma, before we go ahead and find out the solution, what they suggest is you better check your root cause. Consider your root cause as hypothesis and check that root cause with the help of hypothesis testing. Okay, prove that with the data. If that is proven, then only you go ahead and find out the solution on that. Okay, so hypothesis testing we use in the analysis phase, where after root cause analysis, to prove that the root causes are really validated with the help of data. Are you clear? So to validate our root causes, we use hypothesis testing in analyze phase. Are you clear with this statement? Just give me yes in chat box. So in the DMAIC framework, in the analyze phase, we use hypothesis testing to validate our root causes with the help of data. Anybody struggling to understand, please let me know in the chat. I will clarify the point again. Okay, simple. So we are talking about analyze phase. We are talking about after root cause analysis, it will be used as a checkpoint. So if you remember analyze phase, what we do, if I break down analyze phase. So first, what we do in analyze phase, we do fishbone analysis. Everybody remember fishbone analysis? Correct? Man, machine, method, mother nature. Just give me yes in the chat box. Followed by root cause analysis. Yes, 6 M's. So fishbone will give us primary causes. RCA, root cause analysis, will give us root causes. Okay. So let's say one example I had given you earlier, which is more the experienced people, lesser the defect. Or in the night shift, our rejection percentage is very high. Again, assumption. Collect the data. So all these are the root causes which we are finding out. Now those have to be validated. So to validate the root causes, after RCA, we need to validate it. Okay. And that's where hypothesis testing comes into picture. Okay, clear everybody? So in the DMAC framework, we are in the analyze phase. After RCA, we do hypothesis testing to validate the root causes. Just give me yes in the chat box. Yahan tak everybody with me? So that I'll just touch upon hypothesis, then I will cover the t-test. Okay, everybody? We'll do some Minitab exercises as well. If the new people have not yet accessed the Minitab software, does not matter. Just observe whatever we are doing, and then you can practice it later. Okay. Now coming back to. All right. Now let me just quickly. Hypothesis testing. As I mentioned to you, hypothesis is statement of assumption. It is your assumption, right? So there are two types of assumptions we make. One is called null hypothesis, and the other one is called alternate hypothesis. Null, which is represented as HO, and alternate, which is represented as HA. HA meaning alternate and HO meaning null. Okay. So null hypothesis is nothing but statement of equality. I'll give you example so that you can understand it. Statement of equality. And alternate hypothesis is called as statement of difference. Okay, this is the basic stuff which is there in the green belt table. Okay, statement of difference. I'll give you example. Example is, let's say there is one there is one call center for that matter. Okay, there is one call center. Now that call center people, they want to check whether is the gender playing a role in the performance of the call center employees. That means they collect the data of male call center officers and female call center officers and check the duration, average duration of closing the calls. Okay, average duration of closing the calls. How much time are they taking to close the calls? So once they check that, they want to check whether is there a gender-wise difference in the performances. Okay, so what they will do, they will basically collect the data of, let's say some male employees average, what you can say, the call. So let's say X bar, X M bar, that means the average of X bar meaning the average and M stands for male. Okay, so what is the average of male and then average of female, which is XF bar. So the null hypothesis will say, because it is a statement of equality, that average of male call center employees, the average call duration to close the call and the average call duration to close the call of female call center employees, are the same. Okay, I've just written ulta. Just a second, let me remove this. Null is always statement of equality. So it will say that it is equal. It will assume that it is equal. And then the alternate hypothesis, which is denoted by HA, which is exactly opposite statement, XM bar is not equal to XF bar. So we are making basically two equal and opposite statement to each other. One is null, which is statement of equality. We are saying that the average of the male employee calling, closing average closing time, and average of female call center employees closing time is same. And on the other side, we are saying, oh, there is averages, there is a difference, statistically significant difference. Okay. Now, so we'll collect the data of male employees average and the female employees average. We'll put that in the software of Minitab, and Minitab will give us a value called p-value. P stands for probability value. Understand this? P stands for probability value. Now, if p-value is lower than, okay, 0.05, make a note of this. If the p-value is lower than 0.05, then we reject the null hypothesis and we accept the alternate hypothesis. On the other side, if the p-value is greater than 0.05, then we have to accept null hypothesis. Actually, in statistical term, it is called as fail to reject null hypothesis. So the procedure is very simple. Collect the data of male call center employees average call data, then female call center employees average call data, put it in the software, do this hypothesis testing, and check the p-value. If the p-value is less than 0.05, reject null hypothesis, which is the statement of equality. If it is less than 0.05, that means there is a difference, statistically significant difference between these two averages. And this is called hypothesis testing. And how do you remember this 0.05? The simple rhyming is this. You can just make a note of this rhyming. The rhyming is this: P low, null go. Everybody please type this rhyming in the chat box. P low meaning lower than 0.05. Null go meaning reject null hypothesis. If you exactly do this, so you can, what if P is equal to 0.05? Okay, so again, we'll go back to the same statement. If P is lower than 0.05, then we reject null hypothesis. And understand it, 0.05 is only 2 decimal, right? Statistic will, the software will give us 4 to 5 decimal points after, after decimal. It will give us 4 to 5 digits. There will be some difference, okay? So it is highly unlikely to get 0.05000. And even if you get 0.050000, then still it is not lower than 0.05. Whenever you get less than 0.05, you reject that. Okay? Clear? So whenever you get less than 0.05, you reject null hypothesis. Are you clear this? P low, null go, collect the data, put it in the software, and this is called as, so this particular case is called as two sample t-test. What I'll do is, first, I want to do one exercise with you guys, okay? I'm just sharing one, which one is this? Let me just check, okay? All right. So I'm just sharing one file with you. In the chat, I'm just sharing one Minitab file. I'm just sharing it twice, okay? And this is the file of two sample t-test. First, we'll perform that with the help of Minitab. If anybody is not having Minitab right now, just observe what we are doing right now. Okay. Can you just open this file? Once you have opened, let me know. Open in the chat so that I can. And I'm taking the same example of male CCO or, call center officers and female CCO, so that we can compare this example. So everybody got this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Which says male CCOs, CCOs meaning call center officers. Female CCOs meaning female call center officers. Once you open the file, let me know. Yes, open. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Everybody just give me confirmation that opened the file. The same file, right? Male CCO and female CCO. Just give me opened or yes or O for open. If you're traveling, if you're not with your laptop and Minitab installed, it's absolutely fine. Just observe what we are doing. Clear? Very good, very good. Super. Thank you very much for the confirmation. Now let's look at this. So they want to check the male CCO. You're not got the data, you open the file, you get this data, male CCO or female CCO. Okay. Now, what is the null hypothesis here? Null hypothesis is X M bar is equal to XF bar, which is, so female average and the male average are absolutely same. And the alternate hypothesis says the male average and the female average, there is a difference. And they want to check. So we are putting the data. So these are the numbers in minutes. Okay. For example, the first data says it takes 13 minutes to close that call. Second data says 10 minutes to put that call, 11 minutes, 12 minutes, etc. Similarly, on the female side also, there are number of data points in minutes. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll go for, because there are two samples we are comparing. So we are going to use two sample t-test. Okay. I will explain you what is t-test and what is, other test. So go to stat, go to basic statistics, two sample t-test. Everybody follow this. Click on stat, basic statistic, two sample t-test. I'll wait. I'll go very slow. Okay, stat basic statistics to sample t-test. Done, everybody? Have you selected this? Just click on that, stat basic statistics to sample t-test. All right, now here in the drop-down menu, drop-down mein aapko, you will get both samples are in one column. Okay. That means if you have in one column, there are all, the timelines, and in other column, there is gender, male, 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 and then female, female, female. That would be both samples in one column. But here, each sample in its own column, right? So you have to select the second one. Just select the second one, each sample in its own column. Okay, just select that. So here you will get sample 1 and sample 2. And now you need to select male CCO and female CCO. Okay, both columns, you select it in those particular columns and just click on OK. Now you got lot of, statistical data here. But what we are interested in this p-value, which is 0.044. Now, let me write here, the p-value is equal to 0.044. Now, is it less than 0.05? Just give me yes or no in the chat box. Is it less than 0.05? Give me yes or no. Absolutely yes. Marginally, but yes. It is less than 0.05, even though it is marginal difference, but it is less. So according to us, we P low, null go. Whenever the P value is less than 0.05, we have to null go, meaning reject null hypothesis. So what was reject null hypothesis? Okay. So reject null hypothesis. So what was our null hypothesis? Both are same, both are equal. But here, there is a marginal difference it is showing statistically. Okay. So let's check out how much is the difference. Now you can see here, the mean data is here. Okay. So the male CCO average, so the average of male is equal to 11.63 and average of female is, now you can see 12.80. Okay. Now, mathematically, there is a difference. Yeah, are you observing? Mathematically, there is a difference between male CCO and female CCO, correct? Just a second now. So what you need to do, Ramanuji, what you need to do is this. Let me just clear this. Yeah, I got your query. So one part is you need to do is just go back here. Okay. And just go to this drop-down menu. What you have selected is both samples in one column. Okay. Instead of that, select the second option, which is each sample in its own column. Okay. Just select that. So you will get sample 1 and sample 2. And there you enter male CCO and female CCO and click on OK. Then you will get it. Because you have selected this one, both sample in one column. That's why that error is coming. All right. Yeah, good. Chalo. So coming back to, so my question was, so male CCO is 11.63, female CCO is 12.80. There is a mathematical difference, yes or no, everybody? There's a clear-cut mathematical difference, 11.63 and 12.80. There is a clear-cut mathematical difference, correct? Then why are we doing this hypothesis testing? Well, very basic question. Then why this hypothesis testing is required? Simple average nikalo, compare the average, that's it, take the decision. Whether it's equal or not. Then why this p-value and two sample t-test and hypothesis test and what, the jargons, null hypothesis and alternate. Why this is required? So this is required because this is talking about the sample. Understand this. And what hypothesis is testing is talking about the probability about the population. Now, what is sample and what is population? What we have taken is a very small amount of data. For male CCOs, we have taken only 8 data points. For female CCOs, we have taken 10 data points. So with a very limited amount of data, so this is a sample which is basically talking about this, but with the help of statistics, with the help of probability, we are doing hypothesis testing, which is showing that for the population, is this difference, that 11.63 and 12.82, is this difference statistically significant or not for the population? If it is not statistically significant, then you can you can say that both are same, both are equal to each other. Okay, but if it is showing statistical significant difference, that means where the p-value is less than 0.05. Okay, sample population, everybody knows what is sample and what is population. Just to give you example, in the T20 match, 5 overs is a sample of 20 overs. So whatever score you have done in 5 overs, let's say 5 overs, 40 runs, 2 wickets, that is a sample. So in the same match, we see the projected score. And that projected score is, Ravindraji, no problem, no problem. Please carry on, please carry on. The projected score is nothing but the probability of the population. Are you understanding? In the same match, you see the live score, which is the score of the sample of the 5 overs. But below that, you get projected score. That is about the population, because population is about 20 overs. What is the probability of making a 20, after 20 overs, how many runs they will make? That is called the population. So hypothesis testing is the probability. That's why it is called p-value, probability value. Okay, let me give you a simple analogy just to understand this. Are you clear here? So what is the procedure? Collect the data, put the data into sample data, check the p-value. If p-value is less than 0.05, then there is a statistical significant difference. Are you clear, everybody? Just give me yes. Somebody's drawing over there. Are you clear, everybody? Just give me yes. Super clear hai? Procedure clear hai? Now, let me enter into this. Okay. थोड़ा सा deep में जाते हैं. What is this T? Why it is called as T test? This is called as two sample T test. Two sample T test. Okay. Now, what is this T? Let's understand this. There was one statistician called William Gossett, just for your understanding. Gossett, G-O-S-S-E-T, Gossett. Okay. Now, if you remember, in our childhood, we used to see the Guinness Book of World Record. You remember Guinness Book of? How many of you remember Guinness Book of World Record? Yeah, remember Guinness Book of World Record? We used to see the serials. Well, there used to be the lifting weight and the running champion. Then people used to do crazy stuff to get the Guinness Book of World Record, right? Now, this William Gossett used to work in the Guinness company. Okay. Now, he was a statistician in the Guinness company, and he was very studious guy and was very curious. He used to do a lot of statistical, experiments, etc. Now, what used to happen is, everybody knows the normal distribution. You have heard about normal distribution? Yes, everybody, just give me yes in the chat box. Yeah, normal distribution, everybody knows. Okay. And tell me in the chat, how many data points are expected to form this normal distribution? Type in the chat box. How many data points are expected? Everybody. Voice is low, is it? Am I audible? Hello, hello, hello. Audible now? Okay, okay. So the question was, everybody knows about normal distribution. So how much is the yeah, thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So how much is the lowest data points you should have to get at least the normal distribution, which is 30. 30, right? Everybody? If you're not aware, please make a note of this. At least you should have 30 data points, and of course more. More is always better. Okay. So if you get 30 data points, then generally you get a normal distribution. So now, William Gossett. So normal distribution is also called as a Z distribution or Gaussian distribution. Okay. Now this William Gossett, he always uses if I don't have 30 data points or 50 data points, what do I do? So he formed his own distribution and published that article, but he could not do it with his own name because of the Guinness company's policy. So if you want to publish any article publicly, okay, so you have to show it as a Guinness company's what you can say intellectual property and not your own. So what this person used to do, he used to publish his article with the name student, because he was student in the statistics. He was a very smart guy, but he was very humble. So that's why he, according to him, he found out the ways, can we do hypothesis testing with less number of data points? Okay. And that's why he created a distribution called a T distribution. T distribution. Now, T distribution basically looks similar to normal distribution with less number of data points than 30. So if I draw T distribution, generally it looks like a little flatter distribution like this. So if this is a normal distribution, this distribution will be kind of a T distribution. Just for your understanding, basic understanding. So William Gossett was the statistician. On his names, that's why people started calling it students T distribution. And this distribution is used. That's why if you see, we have only collected 8 and 10 data points and not 30 data points. And still we could perform hypothesis testing. And that is the magic of T distribution. With the less number of data points, we can perform hypothesis testing with the help of this T distribution. Are you clear, everybody? Just a little bit of history behind it. Okay. If I increase the number of samples of T distribution becomes normal distribution. Understand this? So T distribution is kind of, normal distribution is a, what you can say is elder brother. T distribution is the younger brother. Clear, right? The moment T distribution grows, as the sample size grows, it will become the normal distribution. Clear? Yes, simple. Everybody, just this much understanding is enough for you. Okay, clear? Yes. Now, let me give you another analogy so that you can understand this. Okay, let me draw this two distributions of male CCO and female CCO. Okay, let's keep the same distribution going. Now, if I draw, the first one is the male CCO. This is the current distribution, let's say, and the average was 11.63. Okay, and the second one is the female CCO. This is the X bar M, and this is F, the female average, okay, which was 12.8. Now, can we say it is less accurate than, it's not accuracy, but we can say that it is, we are compromising on certain terms on T distribution. Okay, so accuracy may not be the right word, but with less amount of data, we are, predicting about the behavior of the population. So of course, we are compromising on some part of the confidence level. Okay, with the T distribution, we have less confidence, but we can still go ahead. हमारा काम चल जाता है. That's the most important thing. Okay, now look at this. So first one is, this is the male average 11.63. This is the female average 12.80. Now, if you see, there is an overlapping region. Both this distribution overlap at this region. And this region, now you just draw this diagram. This diagram will open your mind like anything. This is nothing but our p-value region. Okay, just try to understand. Just with a very simple analogy, I'm just presenting it. Imagine this is the distribution. This is the one distribution. There is second distribution. They are overlapping with each other. Are you clear? They are overlapping with each other. So that the overlapping percentage, if the overlapping percentage is more than 5%, 5% meaning, what is 5%? 5% meaning 5 divided by 100 is equal to 0.05. Here, 5% is nothing but 0.05. Here. So if this is less than 5% overlap of these two distributions, then there is a statistical difference between these two. Try to understand this. If the overlap is less than 5, imagine if both the distribution are exactly overlapping, that means the p-value is 100% or p-value will be 1. Are you clear? If both are exactly matching each other, the p-value will be 1. How many of you got it? Just give me yes in the chat box. Got it? Exactly. So average is matching with the average and distribution is matching with the distribution. P-value will be 100% or 1. Clear? Now imagine we are separating. Okay, we are separating. Now separating. They have come halfway. There is a 50% overlap. That means the p-value becomes 0.5. Still, the difference between the two averages is not significant. Okay, we are just going away until 5% is there. 5% overlap, this difference is not statistically significant. The moment it crosses the threshold of 5%, we can declare that now there is a statistical significant difference between these two distributions, the averages. How many of you got it? Just type got it in the chat box, or you can just type bulb on moment, just type BO in the chat box. As we go away, as it reduces as it reaches the 5% threshold, then we can declare, okay, now there is a statistical significance. How many of you got? Just type BO in the chat box. Dimag ki batti jal gayi. Got it? And this is same thing we cannot do physically. So statistics or Minitab software is giving us this direct p-value. This is the percentage overlap of the distribution we are getting. Simple. Got it now? Okay. If the overlap is very high, we can say that there is not much statistical significant difference. We can say that both are similar. Gender is not playing the role, but here the gender is playing the role. So no, male CCOs are taking lesser time than the female CCOs. So some kind of training would be required for the female CCOs so that their average calling timing also can be reduced so that they can cater to more and more customers. Are you clear with this example of hypothesis testing? Just give me yes in the chat box. I will take more examples now. Yahan tak everybody with me? And with that distribution wala explanation, yeah, that will clarify your, even imagination as well. You can imagine that way. Okay. Super. Very nice. Very nice. Anybody not understanding, please let me know. I will explain it again. Okay. Now, let me share with you one slide which is available in your curriculum as well. Yeah, I will summarize that. No issues. Yeah, you can just take a quick screenshot of this slide. So because today's topic is not only hypothesis testing, but today's topic is about t-test, hypothesis testing, t-test. Okay. Now, whenever we are comparing the means, mean meaning averages, okay, average of one vendor with average of another vendor, the average production of one machine with average production of another machine, the average sales performance of one sales manager and average sales performance of another sales manager. Whenever you are want to compare the averages, then this, this line you need to basically follow. There is a line at the bottom. When it's called one sample t-test, two sample t-test, pair t-test, and if you are more than that, then go for ANOVA. Okay. So what is one sample t-test? When you want to compare with one standard. Okay. There is no significant difference between the samples. When the p-value is less, then the distance is significant. No, understand this. It's exactly opposite. When the p-value is less than 0.05, when the p-value is less than 5%, okay, so that means, null hypothesis rejected, meaning null is what? What is null saying? Null is saying both are same. But now we are rejecting that both are not same, both are separated. Both are distinct from each other. Okay, it is proving, it is being proven with the help of statistics. That's why when we say reject null, that means both are significantly different. That's what we are saying. Okay, and so we need to investigate. We need to do kappa, root cause analysis, all those things. Okay, why there is a difference between male CCO and female CCO? Okay, that is where we'll go ahead. Okay, now coming back to one sample, when you want to compare one sample with the standard. Okay, example, one sample with the standard. Example ले लेते हैं. I'll share with you. Okay, पहले मैं clear कर देता हूँ, then I will take the one sample t-test का example. Okay. So right now, whatever we have done, it is called two sample t-test because we have taken two samples, right? Male and a female. Okay. If you want to compare Rishabh Pant ka average with KL Rahul's average, it is called two sample t-test. Okay. Yes. It is being recorded and it will be shared with you. Okay. In masterclass archive. Okay. So whenever you want to compare two entities, now tell me in your process, give me one example where you can take two averages and where you have to compare these two averages. Give me one example in your own process. कहाँ पे आप इसको use कर सकते हो? Where you need to compare the two averages of two processes, departments, machine, people, sales, production, quality, whatever. Where you can utilize this two averages comparison. Shift wise. Okay, so two shifts you want to compare the averages. Okay, very good. What else? Very good. Type in the chat box. Think about it. Line efficiency of different type. Very good. So you will collect the data of line 1 and line 2, and then you will compare the mean of whether there is a statistical significant difference between line 1 and line 2. Very good. Where else? Type in it, right? I type one example so that you should connect with your own process. Type that. Or you can give any general example, like I have given Rishabh Pant and KL Rahul. It's a general example. Okay. Time-based production defect. Okay. So you want to compare time-based production defect. Let's say, for example, you want to compare the defects occurring in the morning time and the defects occurring in the late night. Okay. So is there any statistical significant difference between morning defects and the night defects? Okay. Time-based production defect. Absolutely. This can be done with two sample t-test. Clear? So one sample meaning one sample with the standard, two sample t-test meaning two sample with each other. Okay. Defects with change in speed of machines. Okay, very good. So speed this and speed this, and you are comparing the averages of these both the speeds. Okay, very good. So operator wise, yes, very good. Operator 1 and operator 2, you want to compare two. Let's say you want to compare three operators' averages. Then do we have three sample t-test, or you want to compare four? Then four sample test? No. Then in that case, we go for ANOVA. Okay. Wherever you have more than 2, go for ANOVA. Okay. So 1 with the standard, 1 sample t-test, 2 with each other, 2 sample t-test, and more than 2, we go for ANOVA. Okay. Then when do we use paired t-test? Paired t-test, when do we use? Let's say, for example, when there is a common sample, understand this, paired t-test, when do we use? When there is a common sample used in 2 different scenarios. Sample is common, used in different scenarios. I'll give you 2-3 examples you can easily understand. Okay. Let's say Rishabh Pant's performance under captaincy of Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant's performance under the captaincy of Rohit Sharma, where the Rishabh Pant is common factor here, tested against 2 different scenarios. One is Virat Kohli's captaincy. Other one is Rohit Sharma's captaincy. So Rishabh Pant, how did he play against the opposition when he was under the leadership of Virat and when he was under the leadership of? So we'll collect the data. It's called paired t-test. Another example, the same sample, one operated in 2 different shifts. Okay, the same person is coming to first shift and the second shift. How the performance is changed? Same person, but it's common. The same sample, you are checking the weight in analogous weighing scale and a digital weighing scale, and you are collecting the data. Okay, it's called paired. It's the same sample. Sample is common. Okay, so the same sample again. The blood sample is taken, old analyzer and a new analyzer. That is called paired. It's clear, everybody? When the sample is common, which is being tested in 2 different scenarios, this is called paired t-test. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat. So all these 4 scenarios are clear. 1 sample t-test, 2 sample t-test, paired t-test, and ANOVA are all clear. Very good. Now let me, because today we are going to cover only t-test. So 1 sample, 2 sample, and paired t-test. That is something which we are going to do. So let me just give you one example of paired t-test. Okay. So I'm sharing one data of paired t-test to you in the chat right now. Just open this file and the procedure remains exactly the same. That's the beauty of it. Just collect the data. Only thing you need to know which test to be used when. That's it. So you should take this, just take a screenshot of this slide. And just you have to decide which test to be used when, and you should be able to do it easily. Clear? So once open this file, let me know in the chat that the file is open. Can we say design spec or customer spec? Yes, it can be a design spec, it can be a customer spec, or it can be your company standard. It can be a department standard. It can be global standard. Okay. So standard is where you want to compare with that. I'll give you an example of that as well. Okay. So that we can, after this paired t-test, we'll go for 1 sample t-test example. Okay. Yeah. Once you open this, let me know in the chat that the file has been opened. Yes, everybody got it? So there is something called 1 sample t-test of month-wise electricity bill. Okay, month-wise electricity bill. Here hai? Is it not audible at all, or मैं थोड़ा सा धीमे बोल रहा हूँ. My voice is not basically at its best right now, but is it not audible? Audible है थोड़ा, मतलब if you're comparing with that हाँ, लेकिन वो audible है ना, मतलब audible तो है, या फिर बिल्कुल ही सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है. Because last time there was some issue with my okay, let me check this. Let me check this. Is it better now? Tell me. Is it better now? Just give me yes in the chat box. Okay, better now. हाँ तो I think there is some challenge with my headset. Okay. Anyways, कभी चलो चलो. So problem तो sort out हो चुका है. Good, good, good. Okay, now coming back to this electricity bill wala data. Now we have got 12 months data with this electricity. Okay. Now let's say the average standard should be 450 rupees. Okay, 450 is our average standard. So how do we check this? Go to stat, basic statistics, one sample t-test. Okay. अच्छा, ओल्ड एनालाइजर एंड न्यू एनालाइजर ऐसा वाला डेटा है क्या? वो तो पेयर टी टेस्ट वाला डेटा. एवरीबडी गॉट द ओल्ड एनालाइजर वाला डेटा क्या? Everybody got the old analyzer, new analyzer data? Okay. Okay, so it is my mistake. Let me open it. It is for the pair t-test. Okay, let me open that file. Let me open that file. Okay. Yes, so this one is that old analyzer and new analyzer. So this is for the pair t-test, where the blood sample is collected from the same patient and tested in two different analyzer. One is the older analyzer, second is the new analyzer. Okay. So this is pair. So we'll see the pair t-test first, then we'll go for one sample t-test once again. Okay. Now, so we have collected the data of old analyzer and the new analyzer, and we want to check whether there is statistical significant difference. Go to stat, the same thing, basic statistics, and here there is pair t-test. Stat, basic statistics, pair t-test. Okay, just click on that. So all the hypothesis testing you will find out, barring ANOVA. ANOVA का थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे आएगा, but all the other hypothesis testing you will find out in this basic statistic वाला thing. Okay. So pair t-test पे click कीजिए. Then in sample 1, select the old analyzer. In sample 2, select the new analyzer and click on OK. And just check the p-value. So what is the null hypothesis here? Let's first draw the null hypothesis here. So the null hypothesis says the X bar of old analyzer and X bar of new analyzer are exactly the same. And the alternate hypothesis says they are different, statistically different, right? So the p-value is 0.003. So what is the conclusion? What is the inference here? Is it lower than 0.05? Is it lower than 0.05? Yes. So it is less than 0.05. So null go, right? So null has to be rejected. So we have to reject null hypothesis and accept alternate. That means there is a statistical significant difference between old and the new analyzer. Clear, everybody? So we reject null go meaning we reject null hypothesis and we accept the alternate hypothesis. Okay, this is called pair t-test. All right. Can you connect any example? The same procedure. Have you opened this file, Harishji? Just let me know in the chat box. File opened so that I will repeat the same procedure once again. Haji. So once you open that file, let's close this first. So यहाँ पे हम लोग, so go to stat, basic statistics, pair t-test. Okay. Not any other percentage. Yeah, that's a good question. I'll come to that. Okay. पहले मैं थोड़ा हरीश जी को एक बार बता देता हूँ. What is the t value, etc. A lot of questions. Very good. Coming back to stat basic statistics pair t-test. Okay. Stat basic statistics pair t-test. Now click on this pair t-test. This will appear. Click on sample 1, select old analyzer, sample 2, new analyzer, and say OK. The moment you say OK, you will get a p-value which is 0.003. All right. So this This is, of course, lower than 0.05. The moment it is lower than 0.05, reject null hypothesis. Okay. Now, like pair, so that's what I said now. That if, see, this is the same blood sample being tested into different analyzers. Blood analyzer is in the in our pathology labs, no? They have analyzers, automatic analyzers. So what they do, they put the blood in the analyzer, and then analyzer does the processing of that and gives the result to you. Okay, so all those, RBC count, WBC count, and a lot of things are done with the, so they have some old machine and the new machine. So what they did, they just want to check what is the difference. Is there difference statistically significant? So the same samples are being tested in, so they have taken 10 blood samples and they have tested in, old and new, old and new, old and new. And now they have compared the differences and the difference is found to be statistically significant. Okay, that's what it means. Now the question was, what is this 0.05? Not 0.005, it is 0.05, which is 5%. Okay. So there is a statistical concept called confidence level. Confidence level. Now, as I mentioned to you, sample and population. Sample and population, just for our understanding, okay? Sample and population example. If we collect a good amount of sample data, so we can predict about the population. Let's say, for example, if you start the cricket match after 2 deliveries, can you predict the score of 20 overs only with the 2 deliveries? Just type yes or no in the chat box. Can you predict only 2 balls के बाद आप predict कर सकते हो क्या? आपको नहीं पता है, right? But can you predict after 10 overs what will be the probable score? Yes, yes or no? Everybody, can you predict? Yes. So if enough amount of sample have been collected, then we can predict the behavior of the population very well. So that's why there are some sampling strategies, sampling formulae. If you follow those sampling strategies, okay, if you are from quality or in your process, there would be a quality manual. In the quality manual, they would have given you that the sampling plan, okay, sampling strategy. After 1 hour, you have to take these many samples, these many number of samples, like that. Okay. So that is done through a research and development. That is done through some statistical calculation. If you collect the sample size like that, you can put your confidence level at 95%. That means with 95% confidence, you can predict the behavior of the population, and not with 100%, because obviously it is still a probability. We cannot say with 100% confidence that the number will be coming exactly, like only 200 runs will be made. You cannot be that precise, right? So when you are confident, and this is a general number, generally it is set at 95%. When the 95% is the confidence level, there is a probability of making error in the judgment, and that is called as 5%. This is called as significance level. Make a note of this. Significance level, which is when the 95% is my confidence, there is still 5% I can make some error in my judgment. And this 5% is basically that probability of making error. 5% is nothing but 0.05, 5 divided by 100. Okay. And this is called as the p-value. This is basically, so this is, sorry, this is not p-value. This significance level is set at 0.04, 5%. Okay. So p-value is calculated on the basis of that, that area under the curve. You remember I mentioned about the overlapping area. So software, there is some algorithm fed in the software, and we can manually also calculate it. Okay. How many of you would like to learn this manually, how to calculate p-value? Just give me yes in the chat box. P-value manual किसको calculate करना है? Very good. So I would highly encourage you to attend our Black Belt Hackathon, which is going to happen in the first week of August. Okay. There, in that hackathon, we will cover this part, how to calculate a t-value. Okay, somebody asked me, right? T-value किसने तो पूछा था यहाँ पे, let me check. हाँ, दीपक जी ने पूछा था, what is the t-value? So you remember t distribution, no? So first we calculate the t-value. On the basis of t-value, we have some, t tables. Okay. How many of you remember during our schools and colleges, we have used log tables? How many of you remember log tables? Do you remember log tables? We used to use. Science students must be remembering log tables, correct? Similarly, we have the z table for the z distribution. We have t distribution tables. We have chi-square distribution tables. And I will explain you each and everything in the black belt hackathon. Okay, it will require some explanation. So on that basis, manually we have calculate kar sakte ho. So first we calculate a t. On the basis of the t value, we calculate a p value. And that p value, which is area under the curve, we decide whether there is a statistical significant difference between two averages or not. Okay. This is just a what you can say, over brief explanation of this. Okay. When we'll go into the hackathon of black belt, we'll go much deeper than this. Clear, everybody? Just give me yes in the chat box. Super clear, eh? Now let me share with you for one sample t-test which was pending. I'll just quickly share that one. I believe this is supposed to be one sample t-test. Quickly, let me share that. Okay. Now, can you just open that file now? And just check if it is one sample t-test now. Hopefully, it should be. Which is electricity bill wala file. One sample t-test. So in t-test, we have got three options. One sample t-test, two sample t-test, and pair t-test. Whenever it goes beyond the two samples, we go for ANOVA. It is not the t-test. Okay. Now, are you clear? Open ho gaya file. Just type yes in the chat box. This is the final one. Sorry. Can we say similar to bias study? Bias study is a little different. But so Maheshji, I think there is a laptop issue with your end, I believe. Okay, right now you don't have, right now. Okay, so just observe whatever we are doing, and then you can check the later. Okay, recording आपको सबको मिलेगा मिनट मास्टर क्लास आर्काइव में, बिफोर एंड ऑफ द डे वो अपलोड हो जाएगा, तो आप देख सकते हो उसमें. ओके, नाउ ओपन एवरीबॉडी. वेरी गुड. नाउ देयर आर 12 months data point and electricity bill. So one sample t-test is average electricity bill tested against the standard. Let's say standard is 450 rupees. Okay, so let's do one sample t-test. Go to stat, basic statistics. Now here is one sample t-test. Okay, can you see here? Stat basic statistics, one sample t-test. If you have more than 30 data points, you can go for one sample z-test as well. Okay, remember z distribution is normal distribution. More than 30 data points, go for z distribution. Less than 30 data points, go for t distribution. So one sample t-test, click on that. Now here, you just have to select electricity bill in this column, in this space, and check on perform hypothesis test, and the mean, which is standard, I will keep it as 450. Now let's check what is the average of this. Is it statistically significantly different than 450? Everybody with me? Just give me a in the chat box. यहाँ पे आपको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल से सिलेक्ट करना है, परफॉर्म हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग, और इसमें 450 डाल दीजिए, क्लिक ऑन ओके. And just check the p-value, which is 0.000. Now, so obviously there will be some numbers after this, but software has shown us 3 digits after decimal. So it is 0.000, which is less than 0.05. So there is a statistical significance difference between the average. What is the average here? You can see the mean is 484 and the standard is 450. Okay, that means if let's say you are the owner, let's say for example, you are the owner of the flat, and you have given a standard that, make sure that the electricity bill does not cross 450 rupees. But because of some extra consumption, so you'd collect the data. Is it statistically significant difference? The answer is yes. It is statistically significant difference between 484 and 450. So obviously you have to tell your rent person that please reduce your electricity bill. Okay. If you are paying the electricity. Okay. Are you clear with this example? Just give me yes in the chat box. So we have covered one sample t-test, two sample t-test, and pair t-test, and we have understood the history of the t distribution, okay, the difference between normal and t distribution, and how practically you can use this as well here, and with the help of Minitab as well. So have you understood something new today? Just give me yes in the chat box. Super, super, amazing, amazing. So in the this is just one assumption. Okay, you can keep 500. Let's go for 500 instead of 450. Let's try 500. Okay. Now owner, so the rented person says that, sir, nowadays the inflation is so high, 450 se kuch nahi hota. So he says, okay, so standard I have increased to 500. Okay, just click on okay. Now, okay, zero. So still it is significantly different. Okay, 0.03, but it is much closer than 0.000. Okay, let me go for 490. Instead of 500, let me go for 490. So if I go for 490, let's say, yeah, now this is, if the 490 is standard, then it is not statistically significant different than the average, the bill per month. Okay, so you can just play around this. 450 was just taken as a random number. Clear? So this way you can perform one sample t-test, two sample t-test, pair t-test. Okay. In the coming sessions, we will discuss more about it. In the black belt hackathons, we will discuss in details all the hypothesis testing. Okay. And in manual as well. If exceptional, what it means? That means both are equal. So the owner of the flat will be happy. Whatever standard was given, he is around that standard only. So no need to tell him anything. Okay. The spec or the master, meaning the standard. Okay. For example, let's say assay. You're from pharma, right? So for pharma, you have assay at 100%. So 100% is standard. Okay. So you collect the assay, and you check whether there is a statistical significant difference between the average assay of the batches and the standard of 100. Is there a statistical significant difference? That will become one sample t-test. Clear, hai? So you can just connect your own example. If it is lower than, that means you have to reject the null hypothesis. There is a statistical significant difference. Okay, if there is a difference between this, that means there is a statistical significant difference. Okay, so accordingly, you have to take the decision. Here, just give me yes. Super. Great. So tomorrow we have the yellow belt session. Okay, so if you want to grab the referral bonuses of 40%, please send your respective references, your colleagues, your family members, your friends, okay, your subordinates. No, it is available. So Mahesh, just send a message on this WhatsApp number. Just send a WhatsApp and our team will help you out. Okay, yeah. Clear, everybody? Super. So the video will be uploaded in masterclass archive with the files. Okay. Below the video, there will be downloadable Minitab files. So all the three files, one sample t-test, two sample t-test, pair t-test, all the three files I will put it, and you can download them. You can practice on your own. and you can connect with your own procedure. Okay. Thank you very much for joining in. Send a lot of references tomorrow and grab your 40% referral bonus. And we'll connect again on Monday with a new topic with the same enthusiasm. Till the time, keep learning, keep growing. This is Dinesh Patil signing off. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. Yes, in the analyze phase, Deepak ji, analyze phase. Okay. DMAC में analyze में हम लोग use करते हैं hypothesis.